righty, welcome to Golden Petals, the podcast. I have a very special guest with us here today, the lovely, the incomparable Natalie Joy Howard. Hello, Queen.
Oh my goodness. Hello, fellow queen. A queen sees a queen, okay? I'm very glad to be here.
I am so grateful that you are here and that we can have this conversation. For those of you who do not know, Natalie is my sister who I love and adore. We have known each other for a very, very long time.
Very long. That
I'm
will
about to give them a
age us.
history. So, Natalie and I have been besties since second grade. We met in 1999 or 2000 around there
Something like
at
that.
Children's World Daycare.
Children's World. Shout out Children's World.
Shout out
Whoa, whoa.
Children's World. Woo. Oh my God, but this is my best friend and my sister all in one. And we have seen each other through so many phases and stages in life. And I just appreciate you and the goddess that you are. And I had to get one of our conversations on camera because it's just so powerful every single time. And man, I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you for being here with me, Queen.
I love you so much. I love you
I
so much
love
from
you
my whole heart.
more.
It is my absolute privilege and honor to be here. I'm so glad that Golden Petals is back and better than ever.
Yeah.
I'm so glad it's getting disseminated to the masses. I'm so glad. I'm so proud of you. And if y'all haven't bought her book, I don't know what you're doing. Buy the book. I know you have all of your payment is already linked to your phone. I'm gonna look directly in the camera for this. All of your payment is already in your phone. It's just a one click. So I don't know what the disconnect is. Anyway, and back to the podcast. This week's sponsors is the Golden Petals book.
Thank you. Shameless plug, shameless plug. Thank you, thank you. If you can't tell by now, we are extremely goofy, silly. This is just what we do. So we are literally just hitting the record button and
Yep.
having one of our regular conversations.
Yup. 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 Yup.
What's on your heart, Queen?
What
Talk
is
to
on
me.
my heart? What is on my heart, girl? You know, for the people who don't know me, and now you do, not only am I Marie's sister and best friend, and just, I love her so much, but I'm also an actor, a musician, and a filmmaker. So all of those artistic disciplines in one, and it's not an easy thing to be. You know, it's not an easy thing to be an artist in general or an artist in the world of capitalism. I was scrolling LinkedIn because, and Marie knows this, I need a new job. We need a new job. And I have been trying to find a job for over 5 years. You know, I do have a job, but I need to move to another situation. And I was scrolling LinkedIn, which is the thing I do now, to doom scroll. And it was just post after post after post about how AI is, expanding in such a way that it's taking everybody's jobs, right? And I know that that's rage bait, and I know that that's AI slop and all the things and whatever. It's not going to take everybody's job, but it is coming for a lot of things, right? And I've seen a lot of discourse about how computer science majors are trying to work at Marshalls because they can't get no jobs and things. When just 5 years ago, that was a solid career path, a stable, secure career path. And so I was just thinking about it. I was like, you know what? You might as well just follow your dreams because the AI can't dream. You might as well just go ahead and do that because, get whatever you need to get right and situated and put in place and whatever, but just go ahead and do it, because at the end of the day, you are not your job. At the end of the day, technology is going to is going to progress, it's going to keep going. And I know that everyone inside of them has an artist, right? Everyone inside of them has an inner child, and children are inherently artists.
Yes.
To be an artist, one must be curious, one must be open, one must be sensitive to one's own emotions and to one's environment, and that's inherently what kids are. And we all have an inner child, and I know that everybody has something on their spirit, something on their heart that they want to engage with or pursue. I have a friend right now. I also am a comedian, we're working on a sketch comedy show right now, and he will not admit this, but he's a director, right? Mm-hmm. He is a director, but we just had meeting after meeting about how we need to find a director, and here's what he's willing to do, and he's doing all of these things. And I said, my friend, you are literally doing the job of a director right now. Why don't you be the director? I support you being the director. My vote is for you. I don't really want to bring in somebody new. You're already here and you want to do it. And then he came up with all of these BS answers. I was like, none of that makes sense. He's like, well, other people are better. I said, so? Mm-hmm. You're starting somewhere, so?
Right.
So, and I'm just like, it's so clear. And I'm going to, string it all together. It's so clear that he really, really wants to direct. That's on his spirit, right?
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily he wants to, quit his job and go to Broadway and direct or something. That's not it. But he wants in this space, extracurricularly to wear this hat and to, steer a production and shepherd an artistic vision. And I support that. But for some reason, he does not believe that is something that is even possible or conceivable for him. And I know that there are so many people with a dream or just a project or something that they want to pursue that lights them up inside that they're just not doing for whatever reason. And I know a lot of my struggles that I've been working through that, because we talk about it. We talk about it. Is the dichotomy of Natalie needs a roof over her head. Mm-hmm. Natalie needs 3 square meals a day to be, fed, sheltered, and watered, right? Mm-hmm. And Natalie has financial goals that she needs to do. And in order to do that, the only way Natalie knows how is by working a traditional job. Yeah. But also the traditional job is sucking Natalie's soul, And what's crazy is that I'm still in the creative industry, but I'm just working a traditional 9 to 5, still in the creative industry, which is kind of worse. I'm going to be honest with you. But that's neither here nor there. But then the other side of it is just do the thing. I have this sticker right here. I'm going to show you. Where, for context, I'm sitting at my desk, my work desk. I work from home, which is a blessing, and I'm grateful. And I love working from home. I don't like talking to coworkers. I don't need to know what you did on your weekend. I don't care if your dog threw up. I don't need to know. How was your weekend? It was good. Thank you so much. How was my weekend? It was good. I rested. Thank you so much. Where was the report that was due last Friday?
You good, sis? You good?
I'm okay.
I know, sis.
All right. And I have this sticker. It's got profanity. So sorry. It's flipped. I don't know how to do it.
No, I can see it just fine. I can see it. And it says, I hope it's not flipped on the recording, but it says, F your day job, write the screenplay.
Write the screenplay. Yeah. And so how I have my stuff set up, I've got 2 screens, and on each desktop I have here's my work, and then there's my screenplay.
Yeah.
It's always up. So I'm like, okay, we're working on it today. We're doing that. So it has been my journey, joys and challenges to find the balance of
Yeah.
pursuing my artistic endeavors, which is what lights up my heart, and also learning how to provide for myself, and also learning how to exist in the professional work environment, because there is
Yeah.
really nothing that can prepare you.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Maybe I've had some, girl, I've had some experiences.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think that there are other places that are not toxic and really do care about employees, or things like that, or they don't let their personal stuff get in the way of work stuff and they're projecting it. But what I've come to is that people are gonna people, and people are in the workplace, and you're a person and I'm a person, and I'm gonna people, you gonna people. So we gotta figure out how to people together. You know what I mean? So I just went, I don't know where I went with all that, but
But I'm following it. We do this. We do this. I'm following, and everything you said, so many valid and important things. And I know that there are people who are listening who are either experiencing something similar or know someone who is experiencing something similar. Even if you take the profession aside, just finding that balance between, like you said, working your 9 to 5 so you can pay your bills, but also staying true to your dreams, your passion, what lights your spirit up, because it is easy with the way society is set up to lose that spark, that light, that joy. What are some things that have been helping you in your journey that help with that balance of handling your business, but also staying true to following your dreams?
I'd say the biggest thing is having grace for myself. Having grace for myself, maybe even radical grace, and remembering that I too am human.
Yes.
I too bleed blood. I too need to rest. Because, and because there is what I have been socialized to do and taught, and then there are some of my default settings. I like to say some of my character traits that I don't believe that any inherent personality or character trait is inherently bad. It's how you use it. And so I'm a Taurus, if you couldn't tell. For the people who don't know. And what that means is not only am I fabulous and sensual and just amazing, but I'm also very stubborn, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think a lot of people would disagree with that, but I don't care. This is my hot take. Because the ability to focus in, blinders on, and
Yeah.
hold firm on something, whether it's an idea or a concept or a project or an execution of something or just being in the moment with something, I believe is a superpower. It's one of my superpowers. Now, sometimes my superpowers are not what is required of the circumstance. I was thinking about this the other day. Because I was thinking about actual superheroes, right? Like from The Incredibles, Frozone,
Yes.
and he can make.
I'm sorry, I just thought in my head, honey.
Honey, I am the greatest good you are ever gonna get.
That one, and when he was like, honey, where is my super suit? I'm sorry, keep going. Mine
You're
super
good.
thoughts one. That's exactly where I went when you said Frozone.
And that is where you should go. Because
Yeah.
it's iconic. It's iconic. But Frozone, he can make frozen projectiles, and he can freeze, and he can glide on ice and kind of glide really fast and make icicles come out of his thing. And look, Frozone, you want him on your team, when you're fighting the big bad in the city, in the place and whatever. But that's his superpower.
Yeah.
And it is very beneficial in those circumstances. But I'm sorry to say, you don't want him there at a volcano.
Right.
Because it's going to melt. And no matter how hard he's thrown them icicles, those frozen projectiles, it's not going to help that particular circumstance. So that's not what is required of him in that circumstance, in terms of his superpower, in terms of the things that he came to this world with. And that's something I have had to learn, am learning. Because you know me, I will hang on. I can hold a grudge.
I know.
Ooh, girl, I can hold a grudge.
I know.
I can hold it. And there are some times when that is required of me, because I got to remember when someone did me wrong and I don't want to engage with them anymore, or I need to shift how I engage with them if I must continue to
Yeah.
engage with them for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
But also, hanging on to stuff can be harmful to me, because
Right.
I'm over here hanging on to stuff. You know, as Meg the Stallion said, anybody beefing with me is beefing with themselves. And I've been beefing with myself over a lot of stuff that
Yeah.
I don't need to keep carrying.
Yeah.
So, and I just think of, you know, I have all these superpowers, but which power is appropriate for which circumstance that I
Yeah.
find myself in? You know, a few years ago, I went with you to Puerto Rico. It was my first time there. You know what I'm about to talk about.
I do. Come on, let's get into it. 'Cause, baby, that was an adventure and a life lesson. Go ahead.
We did our big Indiana Jones
We did.
adventure on accident. So what
On,
happened was,
on accident.
so there is a national rainforest called El Yunque in Puerto Rico. It's on a mountain, and that mountain literally touches the face of God. Like, you go all the way up into heaven. Like, you see
We
the
were
pearly
walking
gates
in
everywhere.
clouds.
We were walking in clouds.
We were literally walking in clouds,
We were
y'all.
up there. I was like, where JC at? I got some questions. You know, like, bring him over here. I have some things to say. Like, that's how high we were.
Yeah.
Now, we did not know that that was going to be our journey that day. We thought, you know, we're going to walk a couple miles, we're going to hike a couple miles, we're going to find some cute waterfalls, take some cute pics. It's going to be really cute. It's going to be great. And you know, because you had been up the mountain many times with your family, but that had been when you were a kid. And we agreed, like, let's be safe. Let's go with a tour guide. We're like, yeah, that's a very smart decision. And it still was a
Yes.
smart decision. That was a smart decision that was made by us. Now, what we didn't know is that this was not as advertised, because we thought it was a beginner hike. That thing was advanced.
Advanced.
That was advanced.
Advanced.
And so, to make a long story short, I won't go through every step of the mountain that we went up. I like to tell people I climbed a mountain on accident. And I mean climbed, like we were climbing up ropes, up mud slick hills, and jumping over rocks and jumping off cliffs, swinging on ropes and diving into waterfalls and all kinds of things that I was not prepared for. And you see that because you brought your phone. And so all the pictures, you see my face steadily changing, steadily following our ascent and descent. And it's I think we should do a collage one day.
Dude,
Of all of it.
literally, you see it when we're at the bottom of the mountain, the beginning of the trip. We're all smiles, we're having fun, we're excited. And it was like literally as we progressed and the higher we went up the mountain, you just saw Natalie's face got more and more serious every time. And by the time we get to the top of the mountain, I took a picture of her and she was looking like this.
I was trying so hard to like be neutral in my face, and it did not work. 'Cause I
No,
was like,
girl, you were over it, and validly so, because we climbed a mountain. We
yes,
literally climbed a mountain, and we didn't know that that's what we were going to be doing. We
yes,
thought, like Natalie was saying, we were just going to go to El Yunque. I've been plenty of times, but I always went with my uncle, and he had like his little own trail. We would walk a mile, then we would go to these beautiful cascadas, like these beautiful waterfalls. So I'm thinking it's gonna be that. we climbed
We climbed
a
that.
mountain,
We
and
climbed
it
it.
was not easy. Like it took all day.
It did. We got up. We got to the base of the mountain. I think around 8 a.m.
Yeah.
8 a.m. and then we didn't get back down until about 1 p.m.
No longer, sister.
Longer? It was like
It was
3.
3.
It was. And I lost my shorts and my shoes somehow.
We had to throw out our shoes because they were so muddy.
We had to throw them out, and I lost my shorts. I don't know how. To this day, I think about it. I was wearing shorts, and then I wasn't because the mountain took them. And I bring the mountain took a lot from me. But that's why I bring up this story. Because as we were going through that experience, I was in my default settings of push through. You know, I'm a person who has a penchant for forcing things sometimes. You know, forcing experiences, sometimes forcing relationships, okay, when I need to not at all. You know, or trying to force my body to do something or my voice to do something as a singer, or just trying to force stuff to happen in my life. And I was walking in those same traits and that same energy up and down this mountain, and I learned, baby, you can't do that. You can't force nature to do nothing. And I learned that, and I had to literally rely on others in a really tangible and visceral way. I had to literally hang on to somebody
Yeah.
and get down the mountain because I couldn't get down the mountain.
Yeah.
And I was so inside, I was like, oh my God, I feel so, you know, there's a part of me that feels like a failure if I have to ask for help, you know, or just incompetent or incapable or something. But I literally had to, or I would have perished, done for. Because
Yeah.
our guide up the mountain, he was like, you can't do this? You're it. It's done. We stay together. Ain't no going back. He was from
Yeah.
Brooklyn. We ain't going. If you go over there, you're dead. You go over there, you're dead. You gotta stay with the group. I was like, we are gonna die on this trip, you know?
And that's no exaggeration, because as beautiful as El Yunque is, it's a
Gorgeous.
rainforest. It could be dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's God's earth,
Yeah.
and we are just guests. And I learned that.
Yeah.
But, you know, going up and down the mountain really showed me externally what I was doing. And then I remember there was a time, you know, maybe that evening or the next day when we were sitting and we were looking just on the balcony, just like out at the view. And I was reflecting on, I was like, there's something that I need to stop doing. I didn't have the language for it at the time, but I do now. But at the time, I was like, I'm forcing my way through life and I need to stop. And that experience on the mountain physically showed me that. And I needed to be shown that. And then that was 3 years ago. And so since then, I have been given opportunities to work through and work and just not even just work through, but to become more aware of the ways and the places where I'm trying to force stuff.
Yeah.
So it's been brought to my awareness,
Yeah.
and then learn how to let go. I told you a long time ago that I had, you know, kind of received this messaging of letting go is the medicine.
Yes.
And
Say
even
it
then, I
again.
thought I
Say it
had an
again.
understanding of it. Letting go is the medicine. One more time for the folks in the back. Letting go is the medicine.
Yeah.
And at the time, when I first thought of that, I thought I had an understanding of it. But I had a very limited understanding of it. I had a very narrow view, which feeds into I'm trying to force stuff to happen. And I'm trying to force stuff to be in a box that I have conceived of, right? In this narrow box. But now I'm really seeing I'm really seeing that it's more nuanced and multifaceted than how I previously thought. Because letting go can look like a lot of things. And you just have to allow it. And there's no one path to letting go. There's no one path to singing the song that's on your heart. You know, there's no one path to finding and driving towards your dreams. There's really not. If it's for you, it's for you, and it's not going to leave without you. And the things in life that are presented to you, they are merely opportunities that you can take and lessons you can learn. And these are just different avenues that you can take to get to where you want to be. And I used to believe that, oh, this is a sign, so this is what I need to do. Or, oh, you know, it says this, so I need to do this. Or this is what I've been taught, so this is what I need to do. And this is the only way I can get from point A to point B. That ain't it. That ain't true.
Yeah.
You know, and I've really been learning that, you know what, I could do this. And if I do this, then this will happen. Or I could do A. And if I pursue A avenue, then B avenue will happen, right? But all is good. All are neutral. They're all neutral. Now, since I have been living some life, I now know more about myself and more about how I tend to operate in certain situations, what feels the best and the worst for me. And I also am very clear on how I want to feel. That's something I wasn't clear on before, but I'm clear on it now. And so I see some of these, you know, I like to call them opportunities. I see some of these opportunities presented to me, and I'm like, you know what? If I go with this opportunity, what's most likely going to happen is ABC. How do I feel about ABC? Do I want to engage with ABC? Yes, no, maybe so. I don't know. You know, or this opportunity over here. If I pursue this opportunity, XYZ is most likely going to happen.
Yeah.
Do I want to pursue XYZ?
Yeah.
How does XYZ feel in my body to me?
Yeah.
You know? So in bringing this all together, because I know you following, but I'm taking a path. I'm on a journey, y'all.
Yeah.
It's difficult to see the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
And the forest is what you want in life, or, you know, what's on your spirit for you in life, or whatever, or the dream you have, or whatever you got, you know, whatever is on your spirit in life. But sometimes we can only see the trees. We can only see what's right in front of us. We only see what's right in front of us. We only see what we've been taught, what we know, what we've seen, what is being told to us in various ways. And sometimes those things don't work.
Yeah.
And we all have things that we come to this earth with our personalities and our strengths and our weaknesses, if you want to call them weaknesses. I don't, but I think I'm just, you know, I'm really good at this, and I may not be really good at this, but this is where I bring in my community and my team, because somebody is good at that, and I don't need to be good at everything, because once again, I am human.
Yes.
Imagine being human. Wow. But when we are in the forest and we're just seeing the trees, and each individual tree just ain't working, then what I used to do is try and hack them down, lumberjack style. Try to force a way, try to make a clearing through my sheer force of will, or just sheer force, you know? And I can't do that. I can't always do that. Now, there are some situations and scenarios where that is absolutely called for and absolutely required, and you want to call me in those scenarios. If you want it done, it will get done with me. You want to call me. But not all the time. And I had to learn that. And in learning that, which I'm still learning, it has given me more of a sense of peace. especially with some of the challenges that I continue to face, um, because there are things that are simply outside of my control. And instead of trying to turn the world, I decided to turn myself. Instead of trying to move the mountains, I decided to move the mountain inside of myself, for my highest good and for what feels the best and healthiest and most advantageous for me, Natalie. And now it ain't got nothing to do with anybody else, right? Now my happiness is not in the hands of some other force, you know, because what do they say? The hand that feeds you can starve you, right? So I had to take control of that, you know, but that's the thing I can do, right? And so that's given me more of a sense of inner peace in and around these challenges. Now, stuff still sucks. I'm not going to lie. I'm not trying to say that I'm ascended and enlightened or whatever. Stuff still sucks. I still want to crash out on some folks sometimes, a lot of the time. I don't, but I want to. But I don't, and they're welcome. And you know. And you know. But what I'm saying is finding that more of that peace for myself makes me more equipped to do this thing called life. Because what I've learned is that these things in life, they're not going to get easier. They sure not. Somewhere along the way, I believed that they would just get easier as I got older. That is incorrect. That's not true. That's not what's going to happen. Matter of fact, they're going to get harder. They're going to get a lot harder. But the good news is that I get better.
Yeah.
I get more equipped to handle what is thrown at me. I learn more. I learn, I feel more self-assured and secure in my own personage and personhood. And when you know who you are, can't nobody tell you different.
Period.
So, yeah, that's the answer to your question. That's what's on my spirit.
I love it. You said so many powerful things and beautiful nuggets and gems of wisdom. And I just want to take a moment to celebrate you because it is a journey. It is a journey, queen. And it's so incredible when you're on the healing journey. We are challenged to look at those default settings like you mentioned, a lot of things that we were brought into this world with, and a lot of the things that we also were conditioned to believe or how we were conditioned to operate, a lot of things that shaped us because of our environment or our experiences. And so part of that healing journey is taking that moment to honestly reflect within ourselves and look at what is brought to our awareness and reprogramming those default settings. Like, okay, my superpower is this, but like you said, it doesn't necessarily mean I have to operate like that all the time. Like, that doesn't have to be the only lens that I use to respond to situations or to navigate in this world. And that's not an easy thing to do, because you are literally reprogramming your mind and you're finding that connection within your mind, your heart, your spirit, and your body. Because the body will speak to you too. Like, our bodies are divinely designed and they will let us know. But sometimes we're not quite aware how to listen to the language that our body is speaking to us. So taking that intentionality to really dive within ourselves and understand better, okay, this served me in a season and this is how I've been operating through life. And I'm seeing that maybe there is a different way that I can do things. Maybe there's a different way that I can move. And that's not an easy journey to go through, because you are literally reprogramming yourself to shift your perspective, to shift the way you respond, to go from reacting to responding. Because reacting, it's that visceral, immediate, like you say, you want to crash out on folks. Someone says something and you want to crash out, but you hold it,
Hold it!
hold it,
Hold it!
and then you respond instead. So maybe instead of crashing out, just being like, you know what? I choose peace today.
I do.
I choose peace today. And even though they did something and they do deserve to get a piece of my peace of mind is worth more than that. You know, and I'm also thinking about going back to what you were saying at the beginning of the conversation too, when you were referencing your friend who has this desire to be a director, but he has that belief currently that maybe he can't, like that self-limiting belief. And I'm wondering how many of us are limiting ourselves from our fullest potential. How many of us are limiting ourselves from following our dreams because we're operating on that old limited programming instead of the new expansive and elevated programming that God created us here to discover and live for ourselves.
Yes, yes. I think a lot of us are.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us are. And the world that we live in encourages it.
Yeah.
It encourages it. It makes the environment ripe for it, you know, with, you know, messaging from media and just things going on in the world and, you know, different ways of having to walk in the world, right? Like being a professional means X, Y, Z, but that doesn't really always hold up with just being human, right?
Yeah.
Or being in a certain space means you have to act X, Y, Z or whatever, you know, and that stuff can really get into your head. That stuff can really get into your head and get into your spirit, you know. But, man, I hope my friend gets free.
Yeah. Man, I hope we
I hope
all
he
get
gets
free. I'm wishing everybody freedom. I'm wishing everybody peace of mind and just living life the way that it really and truly was designed to be lived, filled with love, filled with fulfillment, filled with joy. You know, people refinding their joy and their purpose outside of societal constructs
Yes.
and what we're told to be and what we're told to do, and really finding within ourselves that peace and that joy. Everyone is deserving of love. Everyone is deserving of peace. Everyone is deserving of joy and fulfillment. And life sometimes puts us through things that snatch it. So it's powerful when we reclaim our power and we snatch it right back. You know? So I'm wishing everybody freedom too, sis.
Yes. And you said something right now that I want to lift up. It's a societal construct, meaning we as a society have constructed this idea, this concept of a way of being. And now, if we look through the ages, you know, we look through history, the constructs of society have changed. They're very malleable. They're very, I don't know about fluid, but they change. Like, the way we operate now is not how they operated in ancient Greece. It's not how they operated, you know, in ancient Timbuktu or whatever, you know? And yet, people still found joy.
Yeah.
And yet, people still had dreams. So there is what is inherent, what is inherent inside of all of us as humans that we have always had and will always continue to have. And then there's what's going on outside on TikTok and in the White House and, you know, and all that stuff and how we're supposed to be and blah, 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 blah. And those two things are not mutually exclusive. So that's why I keep saying, might as well just go ahead and follow your dreams.
Yeah.
You might as well. You might as well.
Follow.
You might as well, because who else is going to do it if you don't do it?
Yeah.
And there's your dream just sitting over there, lonesome, in the dark, crying,
Waiting for you.
waiting for you. That skeleton meme. Waiting for you like that.
Yeah.
Waiting for you like that. But we have always had dreams. We have always had stories. We have always had emotions. We have always had joys and fears and anger and doubt and celebrations and all these things throughout the ages.
Yeah.
So don't worry about society, folks.
Yeah.
That's going to change. But what doesn't change is you being human and having a heart and having desires on your heart and having things on your spirit. Just go ahead, do it. Go ahead, just go ahead. I know that there are real barriers out here. There are real blockers and real tangible challenges. There are real things that are out to get some real people, legitimately.
Yeah.
That's true. At the same time, the one thing that you have control over is what's inside of you. And no matter who is banging down your door, no matter what gun is to your head, no matter what you are up against, no matter what mountain seems so insurmountable that you can't even see over it enough to even conceive of climbing it, you still have something inside of you that you can protect and hang on to.
Come on.
And they can't take it. No matter how, and they try. The only way they can take it is if you give it to them.
Yeah.
That's the only way. And there's a lot of ways that we give up our dreams to others, that we give up our power unto others, that we give up our own sovereignty unto others.
Yeah.
And we don't even know that we're doing it. There are a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I think some of those ways, one way is reacting instead of responding. Because some folks just want to get a rise out of you. And then they get it. Well, you gave it to them. You don't have to. I was reading something that came across somewhere. I don't know. Probably on the internet because I'm chronically online. But it was a Buddhist tale. And I'm going to butcher it. I'm not going to say it right. But I hope the idea of it gets across. So essentially, the Buddha was teaching, right, to a large crowd, doing his thing. There was a heckler in the crowd, kept heckling the Buddha. And the Buddha was just like, that doesn't faze me. I'm not going to engage with that heckle. Heckler gets more and more irate the more and more he's ignored. The Buddha just keeps it pushing and just keeps teaching. After the teaching has finished, the heckler comes up to the Buddha and is like, man, why didn't you listen to me? Why didn't you react to me, man? I was heckling you so good. This is a text, right? This is ancient wisdom. The Buddha says, well, let me tell you this. If you had a lavish gift and you wanted to give it to me, what if I did not receive it? If you had, something that you wanted to give to somebody and that person did not receive it, then they don't get that thing, right? And so, this is where I'm saying it terribly, but essentially the Buddha was like, that gift is like that negativity that you were trying to give me. And I don't wish to receive it. So I don't have to. So anything neutrally, positive, negative, joy, pain, whatever, it's all a gift that you can choose to either receive or decline. Just like when the UPS come to your door and you got to sign for a package, you don't have to. You can decline. You can refuse the sending or whatever the term is. You can refuse it and say, I don't want that. Bye-bye. Be blessed. Or not. Do whatever you want. And so that story really helped me in my shift of perspective. I've spoken to you, about how I'm experiencing a shift in my life and a shift in my perspective. And that is a part of it. And it really, really helped me.
Yeah.
Because you got to take it just because it's there.
I
I used to
love
take everything.
that. Yep. And we don't have to. And we don't have to. And I think as women, naturally, because we're carriers, we receive. We're receivers.
Yeah.
And so sometimes subconsciously we're taking in things that aren't even ours to take in the first place. And I love what you said about we don't have to receive everything. We can respectfully decline, or boldly decline, whatever floats your boat in the moment and whatever people feel is best in their circumstance. But I think it's a very powerful thing to be able to have that autonomy to understand, you know what? I don't have to receive this. I don't have to take this on. This is not mine to carry, and give it back.
Give it back.
I give it back to the universe. I give it back to God. I release it. It's not mine. And that's a very powerful shift and a powerful space to be in, because it's being at the control panel of your life.
Yes. Yes. Just like in the Inside Out
Yes.
movie.
Yes.
We got a lot of Pixar references.
Yeah.
They're on
Pixar,
this whole there.
Disney. Yeah. There were some messages, baby. I caught the Holy Spirit watching part 2 when she was saying, like, anxiety, you can't have her. You can't have
Yeah.
her. But literally, how often are we riddled with these very heavy things? Like, even though it is a healing journey and it's a powerful perspective shift, that doesn't take away from the difficulty of walking in that, because
Yeah.
it can be a challenge when you are trying to follow your dreams, but you're riddled with doubt. You're riddled
Yeah.
with fear. You're riddled with, ooh, what if, like you don't know. And stepping on faith, as powerful as it is and as easy as it sounds, stepping out on faith can be one of the most challenging things to do. Walking by faith and not by sight. It's a power move, but it doesn't mean it's an easy move.
No. It has been the hardest thing for me to do. Because you know me, I'm going to see it to believe it, girl. I need to see it. And God is like, you ain't going to see it. You ain't gonna
But
see it.
trust me. But
But
trust
trust
me.
it. It's the, now take my hand. Take my hand. Now we wait. Now we go. That's what it's been. Now we go.
Yes.
Now we wait. Take my hand.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, Lord.
And all you can do is, okay, God, I trust you. I trust you.
Goodbye.
And it's a journey. It's a journey. And when you were talking about the forest from the trees, it really, that's one of my favorite things that you say, one of my favorite sayings of yours, because I remember in a conversation that we were having, and I was talking to you about some shifts that I was experiencing in my healing journey. And when I did move out of state and God had placed me in a sacred season of solitude and isolation, I felt like I went from one extreme to another. I felt like I went from being overbooked and busy and overwhelmed to I had nothing but time in the world and peace and calm. And it was like, I got so much time, I don't know what to do with myself. But I remember talking to you about how being in a different environment allowed me to recognize things that I was taught that weren't necessarily the healthiest. And when I was in that season, I feel like it was a detox season, honestly, because it was releasing a lot of former ways of operating and thinking and embracing this new season, this new life, and I could see things from a new perspective. And I just remember sharing with you, like, I don't know why I didn't see it before. Like, I made connections to things like, wow, that really wasn't okay, or wow, I didn't have to experience this, and life could have been very different this whole time. And I remember you were like, the forest from the trees, girl. The
Yeah.
forest from the trees. And when you're in it, it's difficult to see. And I think that's why it's so important that we give ourselves grace, that we give other people's grace, because everyone is on their own journey, their own walk, their own path, learning what they're learning when they're learning it. And sometimes when you are in things, you can't necessarily recognize the way that it is impacting you until you are removed from that circumstance or situation, and you can see things with a fresh perspective and with new eyes. but we always have that power to come back home to ourselves, within ourselves, to redefine what it means to live life on our
Yeah.
terms.
And only you can do it.
Yeah,
Only you. You
that's it.
can't outsource it to another person. You can't fix all your problems by getting into a relationship, falling into bed with somebody, popping out a kid, getting a new job,
Mm-mm.
leaving the country, because no matter what you do externally, what's happening internally is coming with you.
Yeah.
Now, your external can serve as a reflection, as a lesson, like the mountain did for me, literally. Like the mountain did for me. It was like, this is what you're doing, girl. Like, we're going to play it out. Like,
Yeah.
I was watching it in real time,
Right.
like a TV show, you know? Now, your external can serve as that if you allow it to. But the only way you can really make a shift is internally.
Yeah.
And only you can do that. Only you have the power to do that. And that is a great and terrible thing.
Yeah.
That's amazing and it's terrifying.
Yeah. All at the same time. And two things can be true at the same time. And that mountain taught us so many lessons. I remember when we got down from the mountain and we went to the beach afterwards,
Yeah,
we were
we
like,
were just laying.
we were laying, we were just like, oh my God, what just happened? But I remember you're like, I left my pride on that mountain.
I did. I was like, I left my pride. I left a lot of things up
We
there.
left a lot of things in that mountain,
My
and
shorts, my shoes, my pride.
yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot that got left up there. And that was an unexpected experience, but I feel like that gave us what we needed at that time.
It did.
It really did, because for me, it felt like, and you've heard me say this, I feel like I got baptized on the mountain,
Yeah. Well, you
because,
almost went off a waterfall.
and I did. And I did, and you jumped in with me, my ride or die. She said, I'm coming
I'm coming with you, and I
with you.
can't swim, so
And that's how much my girl loved me. But we made it back. We clung onto a rock and we were okay.
we were okay. He came in
We
and
were
got us.
okay. But yes. But that's what it was, because we're climbing up this mountain, and mind you, we didn't know that we were going to be going to the lengths that we went. Like Natalie said, we thought that we were going to walk a little trail, we were going to make it to the waterfall, take some cute pictures and be done. It was a trek up the mountain. Like, we kept going up levels, and once we thought we were done, there was another level that we had to go up, and then we thought we were done with that, then there was another level to go up. Like, it was just physically continuous ascension. And I'm not exaggerating when I said we were in the clouds. Like, we
Yeah.
literally were at the top of the mountain where the clouds are, and like, it was very surreal, because we're walking and it's like clouds by our hips. Like,
Yes.
it really was. We were in the clouds. That's how high up we were. But what I really appreciate about that experience was that it taught me so much about surrender, because we were already up there. What were we gonna do? You know what I mean? So,
And
so
we
okay.
gotta stay together. And you can't go over there. You can't go over here. And da-da-da-da.
Yeah, like there were strict rules and regulations. Like, it was no joke. It was no joke. But I remember every time we got to different waterfalls, because there were like three different waterfalls we went to, and we would swing off of a rope and jump in, and then there would be another cliff, and then we would jump in. And so mind you, okay, we were in Puerto Rico in August, so it's humid, it's hot, and we're climbing a mountain, a literal mountain. And then when we get in the water, it's cool, refreshing, crisp water. And I just remember each time that I jumped into the water or dunked in, it just felt heavenly, refreshing, beautiful, amazing. And I felt like, because that was such a heavy season for me, being able to jump into that water, it gave my spirit everything that I needed, because I felt like I was closing a chapter, that I thought was gonna be forever, and stepping into a new unexpected chapter and trying to make peace with it and be as open as I could be to something that I didn't necessarily expect or want, if that makes sense. So feeling that water wash over me, I felt like I was washing away so much of the heaviness that I was carrying. I feel like it was very symbolic of what I was going through, and I don't think it's a coincidence that I dipped in the water 3 times. I jumped 3 different times into the water, and it was fun. It was liberating. I think that was the part that I enjoyed the most. As crazy
It
as
was. And I'm still so glad you enjoyed it.
as you can see, we had different lessons that we were learning on the mountain. But the
I
hike up,
too was in the water.
yeah, I loved it.
I too had to jump off of a cliff.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You're gonna jump.
Yeah.
You're
And
gonna
see,
jump."
that was the thing, because I completely understand that that was a lot for you. Like, I get it. I get it. That was very well outside your comfort zone. And I think this was a very typical Taurus and Aquarius interaction. Because I'm an Aquarius. So, baby, I
Yeah.
love the water. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, we on an adventure. It's not what I expected. And yeah, this is a lot, but let's go. And you got my beloved Earth sign sister over here who was just, it was a lot.
Fighting for her life.
Fighting for her life.
I was like, we gotta get through it, and we're gonna get through this.
Yeah.
You're like, look, you were like, wow, look at everything. It's so amazing. Look at this adventure that we're on. Wow, it's so beautiful. I'm like, we're gonna make it through.
Yeah.
We are not gonna fall. We're not gonna bust our butts. We are not. We're gonna survive.
And we're
gonna
holding hands going up, because it was steep what we were going up. It was steep.
It was like
muddy.
this.
Yeah. Like,
And
there
this
was
is us going up
Yeah.
on a rope, climbing
Rope.
up a rope.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was real deal. It was definitely advanced. They did not say it was going to be all of that. I thought it was, because they said it was beginner friendly. So we're like, oh, okay, beginner. That was intermediate and advanced in a mug. Like,
I
that was
shudder
not
to think what they think advanced is.
I do too. Because that was advanced.
That was
That was
advanced.
Yeah,
That was advanced.
that was advanced.
And there were some advanced hikers on there.
People were doing
I'm like, you
backflips
guys
into the
doing it.
water. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the whole time we were, I will say, I think the most challenging part was that continuous climb. We're out of breath. Our legs are on fire because it's burning so much from the incline. We have been walking for hours, and we thought that this would have been done 3 hours ago, and we still there, like, and still got more to climb. Like,
And
when does it
elements.
end? Yeah,
And elements, the mud, the rocks, the slick water because of the waterfall and the little puddles, and whew,
it was a lot.
it was a lot. It was
We
a lot.
climbed a mountain.
We climbed a mountain.
We climbed a mountain. Like, in life, we climb mountains metaphorically. I feel like that day we had the unique experience of climbing both metaphorically and physically. And I love what you said earlier about climbing the mountain within yourself.
Yeah.
Because how many of us have mountains within ourselves? Like, we are the mountain. The mountain that we have to climb is ourselves. The valley that we have to get through is sometimes within ourselves. And holding a light to that, and holding grace for it, and compassion and radical self-love. Because how many times do we experience circumstances that we don't understand why it's happening? We don't know where it's leading us, but we know we just got to push through and make it to the other side of it.
Keep climbing.
Yeah.
Just gotta keep climbing. Keep climbing.
Yeah.
Yup. This life thing ain't no joke. You gotta do it on purpose.
On purpose, with intention. I believe that the healing journey can bear the most fruit when it's done with intention.
Yeah, I believe that too. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The work requires
Because
work.
the work requires, yes, it requires work. You know, it's truly, it's not all face masks and green smoothies and Pilates. Those things can be good, you
Yeah.
know, for your mental health and physical health and things like that. But the real work starts when you confront yourself and you interrogate your own choices and your own line of thinking. And I mean interrogate.
Yeah.
I mean the
Like,
word
why do I
interrogate.
do that?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Where did it come from? And do
Yeah.
I want to continue
Yeah.
this? And is this kind of behavior and thinking, does that fit into the life I want for myself?
Right.
Does the person I want to be act like this? Does the person I want to be think like this? Because I've spoken to you too. You know, I've many times come to the realization, I guess, I don't know. I've come to the realization, we're going to use that phrase, that I needed to change the way that I thought. I needed to change my mode of thinking because at the time, what was going on was not working. Because, and this was the same thing of, I didn't have the language to really best articulate that feeling. But I knew something was wrong and I knew it was in me. And I knew that I had to do something about it, but I didn't know what in particular. There was something I saw. Oh, I'm gonna butcher this too.
Okay.
I'm gonna butcher this too. It was in terms of teaching yourself how to learn. Fun fact for folks, I'm a big old nerd. I'm a big old nerdy nerd. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how do we learn? So like I read a lot of books on it and I watch a lot of YouTube and da 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 da. And so I came to one of these educational videos about basically how to optimize your way of learning, because there are a lot of things in my life that I want to learn. I want to build some skills because I got some goals that I want to achieve. Taurus. And so this person was laying out this framework, maybe not a framework, but just like a structure, I would say. And it was like, here are the things that you know. Here are the things that you know that you need to learn. Here are the things that you don't know. And then here are the things that you know that you don't know. And that was the bucket that I was in. I know that there are things I know, you know, I don't know a lot of stuff. But there are things that I know.
Yeah.
And then there are things that, anyway, I'm going somewhere because I'm
Okay.
butchering it.
And
But
I'm following you, and I'm
you're
following.
following me. You're following. There's a bucket of information that is beneficial for you in your life. And you may have a feeling, you may have an inkling of there's something over here that I need to address, but I don't know what it is. I can't clarify it. And that is a really difficult space to be.
Yeah.
Because you know that something is over there, but you don't know what it is. And if you don't know what it is, you can't move forward with the who, what, when, where, and how of it. If you don't have the what is it, you know? And so a lot of healing, the healing journey is in that area of something is not working. Something is not right.
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly it is, but I need to do something so I can get some clarity in that area. And for me, what I was coming to, at least at the time, was I think I need to change the way I think. I need to change my thought patterns and my thought processes and my initial reactions and things like that, because I was feeling like very narrow. I now have the language now. I was a lot more narrow-minded on some things in life. You know, I had one way that this had to be. And it had to be this way, and it had to check these boxes, it had to be
Story.
XYZ, and then that XYZ is gonna get me to ABC, and then ABC is gonna get me that 1, 2, 3, you know? And when I would pursue things in that way, and they not yield what I was expecting them to yield, that's where I came into a space of what felt like insurmountable challenges. And then that, because I did not have the tools at the time to get through those, it put me into a space of, you know, feeling very low and feeling very depressed.
Yeah.
But all of that is part of the healing journey, because look, that's information. That depression, that lowness, that dark place that I have been in, that was my spirit and my body telling me, like, you're on the right track. You're getting warmer. You know, it was like, you're getting warmer, but you don't have what you need to clarify it. And, you know, part of that was letting go of what I thought I knew.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's another bucket. There's what you think you know.
Yeah.
from that video. And of course that was pertaining to like book learning and like how do you research a thing.
Yeah.
But I feel that those kinds of modalities can be attributed to oneself, right? As within, so without. So that has been a part of my journey of just shifting the way I think about the world and about myself and about my place in it.
Yeah.
And that's where I've come to that space of, you know, all of these different things that are making themselves aware, bringing themselves to my awareness. These are merely different avenues I could potentially take. These are merely different opportunities I could potentially take hold of, because the world is multitudinous and you can walk any or many paths.
Period.
And they will get you somewhere.
Period.
And wherever you go is not inherently a bad place, even though it might feel bad. That's true. It might feel real bad. And that's me being generous, saying that generously. But it's all about what you take from it and what you glean from it and what you learn from it and how you grow from it or through it. So somebody out there needs to let go, take a deep breath, and try and think a little differently. And there are ways that you can get yourself to do this. And it doesn't even have to be deep, you know? Because what you're doing, if you want to think about it from a scientific perspective, is building new neural pathways in your brain.
Literally.
And so some ways you can do this is take a different route home from work. Take the scenic route for once. Do something that you wouldn't normally do. You know, if you usually read books, maybe listen to the audiobook. Just little things, little changes in your life can start building different pathways, and then things don't feel so hard when you want to think, when something that is different from what you usually do comes into your sphere of awareness, because that friction is a lot less because you've built all these neural pathways that can get you there. Because because how I used to feel, it used to really feel like a block.
Yes.
Like a physical block, like a brain fog, and like a just no shutdown. And now I reflect back on some things, and it doesn't feel like that anymore. It just feels, I feel normal, I feel energized. I'm like, yeah, that's not a big deal, and I can do that, and that's cool, or it's not, whatever, and it's not deep, and I'm not gonna give too much emotional capital to it, or whatever. So you can start really small. Like if you usually, like me, order DoorDash, maybe get into that kitchen and turn that stove on, Natalie. I'm talking to myself here.
Live accountability. Accountability for self.
Yes.
You're not alone.
And that's okay. And that's all right. But even just doing that little, small little thing that's different. Because let's take that example, right? If I'm ordering DoorDash, I usually am like feeling overwhelmed. And I feel like I cannot, you know, even leave my home to go get something or make a decision. Because I usually get the same things because DoorDash. This decision fatigue is really what it is. But whereas if I decide that, you know what, I'm going to make a home cooked meal. So what that means is I need to think about what I want to make. Either look into my kitchen, see what do I got, or look at some recipes and be like, what do I need to go get? I need to make a plan. And I come in, I need to make sure my kitchen is clean because I can't cook in a dirty kitchen. You know, and I usually turn the music on and I get into a flow and a vibe as I'm making it happen, blah, blah, blah. So these are two different, you know, pathways that lead me to the same end, which is eating, which I love. Because Taurus. Because Taurus. I just need like a little necklace that says "Cause Taurus."
Put it on a shirt.
Put it on a shirt. But now these are two different things. These are two things that feel different energetically. And that is bringing in a different energy, right? So if I'm ordering DoorDash, and that's not to say every time I'm ordering DoorDash I'm overwhelmed and anxious and stuff, because sometimes I'm like, I'm menstruating and I physically, because as you know, I do have like tough periods and I like literally cannot move. And so if I have run out of the food I've prepared for myself, because you know I know when it's gonna happen, so I prepare. If I run out, I'm like, look, here's what we got to do.
Yeah.
This is now my plan B to make sure that I am still healthy, right? And still doing what I need to do. So that certainly is, you know, whatever. But sometimes it does come from a place of dysregulation, of overwhelm, of anxiety. And then that's the energy I get.
Yeah.
I've told you before, when you make decisions out of a space, out of a certain energetic space, that's the energy you're going to get.
Yes.
When you make decisions out of a space of desperation, well, you're going to get some desperate energy that comes to you.
Yep.
When you make decisions out of a space of your anxiety, then you're going to get some more anxiety.
Yep.
That's what I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
And a part of bringing more peace to myself is slowing down and be like, where am I making this decision out of? Is this a decision rooted in what's best for me, or am I just scared and having a reaction? You know, and that's a lot of like TMI, but that's a lot of like the job stuff for me.
But that's real. That's real, and it's honest, and it's true. And that's part of that interrogation that you were talking about too, because it's really sitting with yourself and being like, what is that? What is this? Where is it coming from? How is it making me feel? What can I do to move through this?
Yeah.
You know, and that goes back to that intentionality that we were talking about. And it's part of learning the language of yourself, learning the language of your body, learning the language of your spirit, learning to listen to the voice of God, you know, because God and the universe will give us these nudges and these signs. We just got to pay attention because everything is connected. Everything is connected. And it's information. It's data. It's data. When we are in a high stress situation and we react, that's information. A button was pushed. A trigger was hit.
Yep.
And triggers can be our teachers. So it's information and it's data, because it's like, okay, this is an opportunity for growth. What can I do to maneuver differently? And I love listening to Dr. Joe Dispenza because he talks about those neural pathways. He talks about it from a scientific perspective because our mentality creates our reality. And so when we are used to operating in a high stress level, if all you've ever known is high stress, chaos, and dysfunction, peace is going to feel foreign and very unfamiliar. So when you are making that switch from survival mode to thrival mode, there is a very rough in between process, because you are literally shifting your old programming and creating your new programming. And going back to the example that you were just talking about, I don't think that's TMI at all, because how many women are dealing with something like that? You know, you're not alone in experiencing what you're experiencing, and that's all valid. You know, and so sometimes it's just taking that awareness, and it's like, okay, we know that this is coming up, so what can I do to set myself up for success? Because when it comes, I know I'm just gonna want to lay down. I know that I'm not gonna have any energy, and that I'm just gonna need to just be. So it's kind of just like, you know, the space that you're making decisions from too. Are you making a decision from a space of preparedness? Are you making a decision from a space of, you know, like you said, is it a space of anxiety? Is it a space of desperation? Is it a space of lack? Is it a space of abundance? Because the decisions that we make from those spaces are also information to the energy that we are tapped into. And so that lets us know the programming that we are subscribing to in that moment. Because if I have a limited mindset or a lack mindset, like attracts like. So if I am making decisions from a limited space, I'm going to also subconsciously attract limited situations. Versus if I make the decision to make choices from an abundant mindset, an abundant space, my reality will then start to reflect more abundant decisions, experiences, and things. And it takes time to get to that space. And once we get in that space, maintaining that space. Maintaining that space and learning to find safety in what it is that we're asking for.
Mic drop. That's it. I hope y'all were listening out there in podcast world. Were you? There will be a pop quiz.
Not a pop quiz. The pop quiz won't be given by us. The pop.
It won't be given by us, but you will find a quiz in your life.
Yeah.
It will be an opportunity for you.
Yeah.
That you can either choose to take or not take.
And we get
But you
pop
gonna learn
quiz
it.
all the time. We get
And if
pop.
you don't learn it, you're going to have another opportunity to learn it again. And if you don't learn it that time, well, it's going to come right back around.
Until you master the lesson. Until we master what it is that God is trying to show us in that season. What would you say for you, sister, are some things that you would say to people who are trying to follow what their dreams are, what their soul is trying to tell them, but they're riddled with that doubt, or they want the change, but they're not quite sure how to get there?
I'd say first, you got to start with you. And it's going to be hard, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, beloved. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be, sunshine and lollipops and rainbows and puppy dogs. You got to start with you. You got to figure out, you got to interrogate what that fear is, where it comes from. And sometimes where it comes from doesn't even matter, but you're holding it, right? And you have to decide. It's a decision. It's not I wake up and I'm ready. It's not, shifting is not, I don't know, something that just happens because you wake up on the right side of the bed one day. I've decided I'm going to make a shift. So I'm going to put things in place in my life that support that shift. I'm going to move in a way that supports that shift. I'm going to say no to anything that is not the things that I want from this shift. That was a big thing for me.
Yeah.
I have had to say no to a lot of things that I would have said yes to even 3 months ago, you know, a year ago, you know, and I had to learn. You know what, this is not for me. So if it comes up again, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no, thank you. And sometimes I'm going to say no. We're keeping it clean for the kids. Because sometimes you gotta let them know. Sometimes you gotta say absolutely not. But you have to start with yourself so you can even learn what those things are that you need to say no to. You need to, I would say journaling is a wonderful way to start because you're now just externalizing what's inside. Because here's the thing. You know how they say with writing, just make it exist and then figure out the rest later. Because when stuff is in your head, it's still this, you know, mysterious, esoteric, nebulous, ambiguous thing that can, you know, be malleable and it can move and it can, you know, change its form and shape and do all, because it's in your head. But once you put it on paper, then it's on paper. Then it is what it is on paper. Then it exists. And then you can see it and be like, huh, I wrote that. Okay. You know, and then you can decide how to feel accordingly, you know. But get it out of you first. Journal it. If you don't like writing, do a voice note. And listen to it back. That was really powerful to me, for me. Hearing my own voice talking to me, telling me about myself.
Yeah.
Was really powerful for me. I don't do that all the time.
Yeah.
But I'll do it sometimes. And then I'll listen back. I'm like, huh. Okay, Nat.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe on to something. So journaling, and I would not share these things with the general public. If you have a trusted person, like I have my sister here, you know, and I trust her with my life and everything, but I don't share it with just any old body, right? And I only share if I feel called to share.
Yeah.
But it's important that, especially at the beginning of this inner work, because I don't know who is in your circle. Because there can be people in your circle who are not supportive of you.
Yeah.
Who are not supportive of you shifting because they have a version of you in their mind that they want to hold on to and they want to keep you in that box.
Yeah.
So if you start moving differently from them, you know, it may not be very good for you. And especially when you're at the beginning of a thing, it's such a tender space to be, you know, and any negative comment, even just something snide here and there, it can really just kill it in its tracks, you know, and you have to keep the momentum going for yourself. So journal, voice note, do whatever, write poetry, write music, express yourself how and through whatever medium is best for you to express and externalize what you're feeling and how you see the world and your perspective on the world. But don't share it outright. Don't share it outright with any old body because you're not there yet, right? Because this is just a fact-finding mission for yourself. You are exploring your own wild, wild west. Yeah. And when you find that gold rush, you want to walk in some silence, right? Because you don't want everybody, you know, and their mama coming at you with the... that. What's this guy from Sinners? Well, just put it in my hand. And what does he do when he puts it in your hand? Vampire. That works for this.
Yeah, that works.
Vampire. You know, I've read The Artist Way. I know it's popular right now because of Doechii, but it has been in circulation for a long time, and I read it a long time ago. And, you know, she talks about a lot of this kind of stuff too, of when you're, and the artist way for context is for folks who have lost their passion or lost the spirit to create. Doesn't even necessarily need to be, an artist in the traditional sense, because as I've said, everybody has an artist inside of them. So just if you've lost that zeal and passion for life, or zeal and passion for what you used to do, for something that used to light you up so completely and illuminate you, and sometimes the world can just turn that dial down. And so the artist way is a framework that has helped a lot of people. And there are a lot of ways, you don't have to do the artist way. This is not whatever, but I think it's great personally. But she talks about this, and I forget the term that she has for them, but it's essentially folks that are naysayers to your progress. And you gotta, and they bring chaos to your progress, right? And so the first thing I would say is journal, externalize, express what you need to express, and learn from what you're telling yourself. Number 2 is view your circle. Who are the people that you talk to on the daily basis the most? And are they people you want to be talking to on a daily basis the most? Are they people you have to be talking to on a daily basis the most? And if, for example, if, the people you talk to on a daily basis are not the people who are who are going to be the most beneficial for your mental health and your spiritual growth, but you must speak with them for whatever reason, say they're your family members or they're your coworkers, or there's something that you are connected to them in some way, shape, or form that you have to, then you need to start setting boundaries. You got to start setting boundaries. You got to learn about boundaries, and you got to set them, and you got to hold them too. That's the thing. People will make up all these boundaries, and then they just drop them. Drop them. No, you got to hold. That's where that stubbornness is my superpower. I'm like, no, boundary. And that's where your superpowers come into play too, right? Right.
Yes.
So, but you got to make your boundaries, and you got to hold your boundaries, right? For those folks who just are not on your wavelength and they can't come with you to where you're going, unfortunately, and you can love them up and down too, but they're on their own journeys too, and you got to allow them. You have to practice some radical acceptance of who they are. Just because they are who they are doesn't mean they get to act any old kind of way with you.
Yeah.
Accepting them is not being a pushover or being a doormat or whatever. Accepting them and saying, I see you, and I know that you are who you are, and you're going to do what you're going to do. You can do that over there. Mm-hmm. This is how you engage with me. These are my terms of engagement. Mm-hmm. You can accept them, or you can kindly remove yourself, or I will remove you.
That part.
Or I will remove myself. I will do what I need to do to keep myself safe.
Yes.
And protected in this space, in this very tender time of healing, right? Especially when you're in the beginning. Yeah. So I would do that. I would make sure that the people that I am talking to, that I am sharing this journey with, are people I trust, and that you pour into them and they pour back into you. Reciprocity is key. Because once again, you can love somebody up and down, to the moon and back, but if they're not holding a space for you and pouring into you and pouring love into you the way you do for them, then they may not be the one to walk this road with you. I'm so sorry. That's so hard for some folks.
It's hard.
That's really hard.
Yeah.
It really is. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you. And sometimes those are some hard decisions that you have to make.
Yeah.
And I have been in a space of learning what it is to walk on faith, to be courageous, to be brave. And I will tell you that the Hollywood version of those things are not what's real. It doesn't feel like that at all. It does not feel triumphant. It does not feel like I won the gold medal. You know, I'm still scared, but I do it anyway. You know? Or I am confronting stuff and I'm shaking in my boots, or I'm still feeling that anxiety, but I'm making the decision to say, no, this is not what it is for my life. I choose what I want for my life, and this is it, you know? And you just keep holding the line and keep holding those boundaries and keep standing firm, and use your superpowers for good and not evil. And yeah, you know, don't shy away from the tough stuff, because that's the stuff you need to do.
Yeah.
That's the stuff you need to do. That's the stuff you need to do.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I love what you said about protecting that dream too, because that's part of, you know, watering the dream. It's protecting it and protecting our peace. And it can be very difficult to do when we realize that we are shifting, and people who we love, who have been on this journey with us, they're not necessarily shifting. And there's something so challenging and even hurtful when the people that you love are criticizing you, or they don't quite understand where you are and where you're going, and you feel judged or criticized or even ostracized. You know, and it's like you said, they had a version of you in their mind and they're holding on to that version. But the issue is that creates a limitation where they can't hold space for the new version of you. But that doesn't mean that people should stop their journey or water themselves down. People who are meant to be with you on your journey, either they gonna catch up, they gonna respect you where you at, or, you know, sometimes we gotta lovingly place distance, and sometimes we gotta love people from afar. And it's not an easy thing to do when we have to place boundaries with people who we love and are connected to. I think boundaries as a whole can be challenging sometimes, but I think that there's a very unique challenge that comes with, well, what happens when it's your family? You know what I'm saying? What happens when it's a real close loved one in your circle? And energy doesn't lie. We all pick up on things. And when you're starting to shift and grow in your journey, and you peep them little snide remarks that people make, or the energy shifts. And when you are creating something new, it is fresh. And like Natalie said, it's so tender. And when people are throwing that type of energy your way, that's the type of stuff that can really be more detrimental than beneficial. So placing boundaries doesn't mean that we don't love a person. Placing boundaries doesn't mean that we don't wish them well. Placing boundaries means that we love, value, and respect ourselves enough to protect ourselves and what we are cultivating in our life. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's a necessary part of the process. Protecting your dream, protecting your peace, protecting your life.
Correct.
Yeah. So I love everything that you said, though. Writing it down, that's important, like you had mentioned. Because when things come into our mind, that means if we can see it here, that means it's ready to manifest in our reality. So putting it on some real paper and writing it down, there's something very magical about that, because that's part of the bringing it into fruition process and protecting what it is that you're creating and cultivating in your life. And shameless plug, in addition to Golden Petals the book, there is also Golden Petals the journal.
Get you one.
That is available as well. And I do have journal prompts for those who are healing and reflecting, but I intentionally left a lot of blank pages so people can put their valuable thoughts, desires, dreams, plans, goals, feelings, whatever it is that they need. There's plenty of space for that here, because there is something very powerful about writing It's a healthy outlet for one, but for two, it really helps with that organization of this is where I'm at, this is what I see, this is where I'm trying to go. This was great.
This was great. Oh my gosh.
This was
I hope y'all like it out in podcast world.
Yes, thank you for listening. I know we're getting ready to wrap it up, but I just want to thank you for sharing your beautiful gems and nuggets of wisdom. I am so proud of you. Like, there's not enough words for me to say how proud I am of you, how honored I am to walk alongside you on this journey, my dear sister. When I think about unconditional love, I think about you. We have seen each other through all of our versions. We have known each other since we were little girls, literally from little girls to teenagers to young women to now we are grown women in our 30s. And I'm just so grateful that God has allowed our individual journeys to still sync up and for us to just be a safe space for each other. And I want to celebrate you and the work that you're doing and let you know I see you, I see the growth, I'm proud of you, and I'm excited for where this journey is going to take you, and I can't wait to cheer you on every step of the way.
I love you so much with my whole heart. I really do. I really do. Sisterhood, I cherish this above all things. I really do. I can't do this without you.
I wouldn't
And I
want
won't.
to do it.
Stubborn.
Listen, Taurus and Aquarius, we're fixed signs. We are fixed signs. We don't like change.
But you're more open to it naturally than me. And that's why I've had to learn to let go.
Let go. You know what's funny? Real quick, you know what I'm going to talk about? Speaking of Puerto Rico. I think a symbolic lesson that we also learned on that trip was when your Taurus self was struggling to float.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I get in the water, y'all, I just love to float. I will float in the water and I look up at the sky and I feel at peace. And my girl Natty, she was struggling. She was struggling to let go.
Yeah.
So she could just float.
Yeah. In the open ocean.
In the open
because I was scared I was going to be taken out to sea.
And there was no current at that time, mind you. It was still water, but it was the principle of the fact. But
You don't know what's going to happen.
But when
I'm better now.
She's better now because when we went back, my girl was floating in the ocean, light as a feather, free as a bird.
Yes.
Floating.
Yes. Not for a long time, but
you did it.
Work at it.
Don't do that. Don't minimize.
You're right.
This is progress. Progress is progress.
Right.
We're going to celebrate all the wins, all the steps, big or small. But you did it.
You're right.
You did it.
You
went from not floating to floating.
I was literally like my head, like if this is my head and this is the water, and I was trying to float, I was like.
She was fighting. My girl was fighting the water.
I was fighting the look. And once again, I had to learn, you can't fight nature. Mm-mm. You can't fight nature. Mm-mm. Nature got hands. She got hands. And she fight dirty.
Yeah.
She don't care. Mm-mm. She don't.
Mm-mm. But when you fight nature, you fighting yourself. Because we are an extension of nature. We're all created by God. We're all connected. So fighting
that was a big fact right there. That was when it was for the sound bite. When you fight nature, you fighting yourself. Mm-hmm. For the sound bite, there you go.
Where can the people find you, Queen? Where can they find you if they want to follow your journey and see what it is that you have going on?
For sure. So you can always find me in your heart. But you can find me on Instagram. I am Natalie Tells Stories. Natalie Tells Stories on Instagram. I'm going to be bringing that to TikTok soon. soon. Soon it'll be under the same handle. And that's where I tell some stories. And so you can see my journey of being an actor, a filmmaker, producer, musician, currently in development for a feature film that I was on the team for crowdfunding. I was an associate producer and crowdfunded over 100K in 30 days, which was incredible. Producer girl.
Yeah.
I am writing my second short film to be produced this fall, which is now. I gotta finish it. Which is now, and to premiere in December. And yeah, you'll see me on different gigs and stuff, living life and doing the thing, y'all. And coming to a TV screen, big or small, near you.
That part, that part. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us here on Golden Petals. I love that we were able to have this conversation, and I'm praying that it can touch, inspire, and uplift everyone who it comes across. So thank you. You're amazing. I'm proud of you, and I love you.
I love you. You are amazing. You are incredible and phenomenal. Y'all don't even understand how amazing this person is right here. Like, y'all don't even understand the depths of just fortitude. Ha! Okay,
Thank you.
sorry.
Thank you,
I love
Queen.
you.
Love
I
you
love you so
more.
much.
Love you more. And that's it for Golden Petals today. Until next time.